Hi everyone, I am hoping we are live. I'm just going to quickly check on my computer over here. It looks like we're live and we're going to go off without a hitch today. So let's have a quick look. I'm just going to make sure I've got no volume on there. And if you can see me, if you can just make a comment. The good thing about today is I am a little less organized than usual. So that's a benefit for you because when we start cooking a lot of the time at home, we're not organised. We have to rifle around in the cupboards and everything like that to find all the ingredients to get started. But today I am going to be focusing mainly on recipes for breakfasty type foods. I know that a lot of us don't eat breakfast. I could probably count on one hand the times I've eaten before midday over many years. But that doesn't mean that I don't like all the breakfast kind of foods. Obviously, I've created porridge recipes and that are amazing. But today we're going to make ones that are simple, easy things that you can make ahead of time. That's Stormy saying hello. She always likes to say hello. And we can use it for any meal. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing and where hopefully I'll get things done for you, because I'm going to try and give you the building blocks and just some ideas. When I looked at what ingredients I had in the house, like I wanted to do some of the rancheros donuts from Keto Mojo with a delicious guacamole, some pork and beef burgers and bacon and tomato. My avocados are rock hard. I have no beef mince in the house, and so that kind of put a little bit of a kibosh onto that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to today make a few recipes, and then I'm actually going to start working on an ebook for breakfast, because I decided when I started to put ideas together this morning that I really love this kind of food myself. So I want to create some great recipes and just put together some of the ones that we've already done. So as I'd said previously in the post, one thing that won't be dessert, but you can make it into dessert, is a sweet that we're going to do. And it's one that I actually did at a show yesterday that was very popular, and that is with a basic keto cheesecake fluff. So this recipe is not on my website yet. And a lemon curd that is sugar-free. And we're going to top that with, it's like a deconstructed cheesecake. So it's like my key lime cheesecake out of Keto Mojo, deconstructed into an easy, less than 5-minute dessert. And it's going to go with our keto shortbread. As a little crumb on the top, or you could use it as dippers. We're going to do a fat head, and I'm going to give you ideas on how to do that with, like, you can make wraps out of it, pizza bases out of it. So breakfast pizza, I think bacon and eggs. I've got some of our sugar-free barbecue sauce here, pizzas, and a scroll. So I'm going to just do a simple scroll, show you my little tips on how to make them look really good. It is going to be a yeasted fat head. So I will give it a little bit of time to rise, but it mightn't puff up as much as it normally does, because we're just going to try and do all this in an hour. We're also going to be doing our best keto buns, which with the hemp seeds, they're amazing and they're really, really quick. So that'll be the first recipe I'm putting up, completely manual for you. And I actually found this little tray. Some of you might have got it many years ago. I've never used it. I got this. Someone was going on about it on Facebook one time that you got it free with like a Better Homes and Gardens magazine or something. So I went and got it because it's like little breadsticks. And I thought this would make great breadsticks for eggs, dippers. So we'll give that a try too. I'll spray the pan because I'm not sure if it's non-stick or anything. And we'll make some dippers for some dippy eggs as well. And we're going to do some tortillas. And I'm going to give you some great ideas on how to use the tortillas. I'm going to do the tortillas today with an egg in it, but I'm also going to give you the option of no egg. So the tortillas are dairy-free, and I will give you a vegan option as well. And I think that's all we're doing at this stage, but it'll be what you can do with all of these ingredients. So let's get started. I'll just have a quick look and see that it's all on there. I've got a little chat opening up there. Are you going to make this so I can replay it as I have to go out now? Yes. You can replay it, no problem at all. Hey everyone, I can see everyone saying hello. Okay, so let's get straight into it because we've got a few things to get through. So I've really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 recipes in front of me. No, 5, I can't count. But the thing is what we can do with these recipes is the best bit. So our keto buns recipe, the best keto buns, is on the website. And it only has really 4 main ingredients, and they are 40 grams of shredded mozzarella, and I just use store-bought one, 40 grams of grated Parmesan, so I've just grated up some Parmesan already, 2 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. So hemp seeds, hemp hearts are exactly the same ingredient. So I've just got my 40 grams of mozzarella, which is just slightly less than half a cup. And then I've got my Parmesan. Just making sure that I put all the right things together. 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. For those of you who do metric measurements, that's 20 grams. And we've got 2 eggs. I haven't whisked them. It says in the recipe to whisk them. I think they'll survive. You could season that, and you could use different seasonings. Did I just keep that tagine out, or did I put it away? I think I just put it away. So if you wanted to stick in like ranch seasoning into this, your Italian herb seasoning, whatever seasonings you like. Let's have a look up at Mingle. We've got barbecue, smoky something. I really need to turn that one around. Spicy Mexican, all-purpose garlic and herb, guacamole, all of those ones will all work with this. Okay, that's as simple as that to mix this up. Now, when I do these, I make them... Just got my baking tray here, and I'll pop this one on it, and we'll just give that a quick spray. I'm going to give these egg rings a quick spray too. I'll just spray that all, just because I don't know what I'm going to use yet. So when I'm talking, I don't want to have everything stuck in there and have to have difficulty getting it out later. So I use the silicone egg rings, which are really great for baking and in the frying pans and that as well too, or oversized egg rings. You can use smaller ones for this. You can use anything. You can just plop it onto the baking paper if you like. And you're basically just going to stick like a couple of tablespoons into your rings. I'll do some at least in 2 different kinds. That one looks about perfect. I'll put one in here. A little bit more. So this looks kind of... I saw an argument once on some group in Facebook. Somebody had posted that they'd made these and they were like, amazing, you know, you've got to try them. And somebody said, it's an omelette because, you know, it's got egg and cheese in it. And the person said, if you haven't tried it, don't argue because it is nothing like an omelette. And that is so true. There is this magic that hemp seeds does when it's combined with cheese and egg. And trust me, these are awesome. Now, what would I use these for? So if you look at the recipe on the website, there is a double egg and cheeseburger. So I've done 2 eggs, some just slices of cheese in these buns. But these are amazing for burgers too, because I also use them for like our keto burger and that as well, our beef burger. So I'm putting this in a preheated oven, which is already preheated today at 200 degrees. And we're going to cook that, it says, for around about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll put it on for 10 and we'll see how we're going. That really isn't level. Put that on level. There we go. So then we've got various sizes there. I always choose to put on less because you can always increase time, but if you burn something and dry it out, you can't take it back. Okay, so I'll just quickly see if anyone's got any questions on that. No questions on the best burgers? Okay, who's tried them? So they're the best keto buns. They're just a tiny little bun, really light. Like I said, amazing for burgers. They're quite like a crumpety kind of style texture. So you could do it with a keto syrup or jam or something like that if you like that. Butter and Vegemite. Beautiful. So that's a very simple, easy breakfast. You just saw how I did that, and that was only like with the 40 grams of Parmesan, 40 grams of mozzarella, 2 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds. You could do this in bulk. They do freeze, and you can have the batter in the fridge if you like and make them fresh if you wanted to. You could put them into loaf trays and make them into like little mini flat breads and stuff like that as well too, to do sandwich fillers for lunch boxes. And if you wanted to do this egg-free, I will try it with a chia egg and just see how it comes out. I haven't tried that yet. I haven't worked out dairy-free. There's 2 different kinds of cheeses in it. But of course it's nut-free too. So it's safe for kids' lunches and that at schools that don't have nuts. So we've got that on, and now I'm actually just going to get my curd on quickly because that one takes 11 minutes. This is for our dessert. But what I was saying is that realistically, I'm just going to put this butter on to melt. I'm going to do this in the Thermomix, but you just do it on the stovetop, just in a saucepan with a whisk. So it's just a little easier for me to do this while I'm talking. But you could do this as a simple curd with any citrus, or, you know, you can add in berries and that as well if you like. I'm just going to put that on for 3 minutes. 90 degrees, speed 1. So you could do this with yogurt. So for those of you who eat any of the high protein yogurts or Greek yogurt, you could put a little bit of curd with a bit of yogurt and some crushed nuts for an easy breakfast, easy kind of meal. You could do it with like a whipped ricotta, whipped feta, like just add a little bit of sweetener if you like it a little bit sweet, or just the lemon curd actually folded through will sweeten it enough for you. So these are like very simple recipes that are quite versatile as well. So a curd could be used in a Danish for breakfast. So where we're using our fathead today, you could do it like a lemon curd down there on the base, some berries and fold it over. If you wanted to do it savoury, the curd, I did a show yesterday and actually made this curd, and the one thing that I did say was previously to keto, I used to make a raspberry curd. So for this recipe, I would just add 100 grams of raspberries as well and cook it that little bit longer, so it gets a little bit jammy, and then you serve it with bacon. It's like, sounds weird, but it's really good. So, but we know that we have like bacon with cheesecake, so not really much difference. Probably could do it with the cheesecake fluff as well. Okay, so we've got that on. That's just going to take a few minutes, and I do have to zest a lemon, and I hope my zest is here. Thank goodness for that. And squeeze in the lemons, which I would normally have ready for this sort of thing. So our lemon curd, I use a xylitol sweetener. You can use allulose. Allulose will caramelise maybe just a little bit in your curd, but if you keep the temperature low when you're using your hot plate, you'll be fine. If you use erythritol-based sweeteners, the ones that any of the sweeteners that you can find from the supermarket, if you use any of those, if you chill a jam or a curd, it will crystallise. So for those of you who are always asking, what can I get from a supermarket that won't recrystallise? Nothing that I know of. There is some of the syrups by Lakanto available in the supermarket. I haven't tested them in my recipes, so I can't advise on those. I do know that they are runnier than, say, a sucrane syrup, which a sucrane syrup can be used as a sweetener in lots of things that won't recrystallise. But yeah, it's worth sourcing xylitol or allulose for something like this. But in saying that, if you wanted to do a curd for a special event, so let's just say Mother's Day, you want to do a lemon curd tart, I would make the lemon curd ahead of time, allow it to cool at room temperature, and then I would just put it into my pre-prepared pastry shell, which we've got a couple of recipes on the website for those for keto as well, and just leave it at room temperature. Neither of them are going to have any issues being at room temperature for the day, and then you could top it with any meringue or cream or something like that when it's ready to serve, okay? But I definitely wouldn't chill it because those crystals are like little grains of glass inside a curd, and it's not very nice. Okay, so my butter has melted. For those of you who do use thermal cookers, I'm now just going to insert a whisk or the butterfly attachment for Thermomix people. And we're going to add the rest of our ingredients, right? Yeah. Thermomix. No, I'm actually going to add my sweetener first. I'm going to add my lemon juice, which I have to squeeze in. Oh, just going to zest one lemon in there first. So as I said, this could be done with any citrus. So if you've got lots of citrus at the moment, whether it's mandarins, oranges, what have you, you can just pop this, just swap this out with any citrus that you like. Our one that's in Keto Mojo for the slice recipe is with limes. These lemons I got from the supermarket. I do have a couple of Meyer lemon trees in our backyard, but none of them are ripe at the moment. These are not as juicy as my lemons by a long shot, so just going to going to pop the lid on so I don't squeeze all my pips in there. So by putting the lid on, it stops all the pips from going into the curd. You can always fish them out afterwards if you wish. Who's made my curd before? It's so delicious. Honestly, it's such a lovely, nice, simple recipe. Oh, there you go. Squeezing it down the side of the machine is always good. See, this is why I like to have things pre-prepped so it's not so messy. Oh. So this is like half a cup of lemon juice. With these ones, I will go on like, say, 2.5 lemons because I just know that they're pretty much not very juicy. Pretty much not very juicy. That's good English, right? Using all my muscles, squeeze this in. So if you've tried my curd, I do make it very in-your-face lemon. So I don't like to be half-assed with my lemon curd. I don't want it to taste sugary sweet. I actually want it to be zesty. 2 will do us today. Oh no, hang on, there's the other half. That'll do. That'll do us. I can't see anything, but I'm hoping everyone can hear me well enough. Can you see? Oh, you can see me. Oh, I can see the screen. Okay. That should do us. Just going to get rid of those seeds so they don't end up in at some point. Okay. Then I'm just going to give that a quick mix to mix it together, and then I'm going to add my egg yolks and I'm going to cook it for 3 minutes. I'll just let that go for a minute. And then once that gets going with the egg yolks in it, we're going to make, what did I say I was going to do next? The fat head. So the fat head's going to be fun today. I'm doing it manually in the microwave. And I'm using a cream cheese that I've never used before, so all hell could break loose. Okay, that should be mixed enough. Let's just add in our 6 room temperature egg yolks from large eggs. Now, seeing this is breakfast and you've got egg whites left over, an easy tray bake egg white omelette or egg white wraps. So you can do egg white wraps, just whizzing them up. You can add a little bit of cheese if you like, a little bit of xanthan gum, like say 2 eggs to roughly about 1/8 of a teaspoon of xanthan gum, and then we'll turn it into delicious, I think this is 80 degrees I do this at, speed 3, yeah. So for those thermal mixers, we do it for 11 minutes. I better put the timer on. 80 degrees, speed 3. Okay. I'll just get all that lemon curd off there. Lemon juice. Okay, so that is on and done. So the fat head I'm using today, I've got the cheese in here already. I'm just going to get my ingredients over here so we can talk about them a little bit. As I say, I always just use shredded mozzarella from the supermarket. I'm super lazy. It's nice and easy to get. It's easy to get, so I use it. But I'm using the Alpine cream cheese from Aldi. So I've never used it before. I always use Philadelphia cream cheese. The Alpine seemed to not be too wet, which was great. But hopefully it doesn't have any problems when it gets heated. Okay, let's have a look at these. So they went in for the 10 minutes. Like I said, they do say from 15 to 20. So I'm just going to give them an extra 3 minutes. I think my little bread sticky ones will be nice and golden, but that'll be great for dippies. So yeah, we'll try this Alpine cheese. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's always fun. So I'm going to add that into the microwave. You can do this on the stove and you can do it in your thermi as well. We've got all the instructions. I can't even remember. I think I do that for 2 minutes in the microwave. It's been so long since I've done it in the microwave. We've got all the instructions on the website on how to make a basic fat head. So today I will be doing the yeasted one, as I said, and what I've done, as you can see here, is my yeast. Please don't fall out. It's been activated. So I've got 2 teaspoons of yeast, 1 teaspoon of inulin, and 1 tablespoon of warm water. I just popped that on before we started. It was probably growing as this video was going. And I'm going to add that in at the time that I add in the egg yolks. So the eggs. So I've got room temperature eggs again. I always just use room temperature eggs. They're just not as eggy when you go to make any of these sort of keto low carb breads. I've got some salt flakes. I've got a teaspoon of xanthan gum. That really does make the consistency of the fathead, I think, with my recipe. And it's not gummy at all when you eat it. We've got 1.5 tablespoons of the double acting baking powder, and we've got 150 grams of almond meal. So basically the steps that I've got in the recipes of mixing the eggs and the baking powder is super important at that stage, and then adding in the other ingredients. You look at most recipes, they do it all the other way around. They add in the almond meal. Wrong. Don't add in the almond meal until you've made the foam, which you'll see when I go to mix it. I do have a spatula over here. So fathead dough is like super versatile, and it's so great for breakfast. We can do breakfast danishes, we can do breakfast cakes, we can do breakfast wraps, we can do pies, we can do pastries, we could wrap sausage meat in it, we could wrap cooked sausages in it, we can do what I could also do with my tortillas, which we're making today as well, is do things like crunch wraps, where you make a large wrap, you put in your bacon and eggs and cheese and burger or whatever inside, you fold it all over and then fry it in a pan. These things can be made ahead of time. Fathead can be made ahead of time. It can be left in your fridge in a ball. These sort of things that I was just saying ahead, and have them ready. And that's why we're kind of doing this today, because I'm looking at what I'm doing this week and I'm super busy. So I want what I say is the building blocks for easy meals. And if all this work is done in an hour or something like that on my weekend, then throughout the week, all I've got to do if I'm going to do a pizza base is chop up a few ingredients, pop it on the pizza base, chuck it in the oven at 250 for 3 minutes, and I've got a meal in less than 5 minutes. Sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, so these are done. So we saw like less than, that should be safe to go on there, less than 1 minute to mix and 12 minutes to bake. So I'm going to add that. Ooh, out, over here. Hope they come out. Oh yeah, look at those. So there's our little dippies for our dippy eggs, and these silicone egg rings come off nice and easy. I won't touch the middle one just yet. I once had what they say the asbestos fingers when I used to work in kitchens full time, but not nowadays. Okay, so we've got our warm cheese mixture. That Alpine cheese seemed to work really well. I'm going to add in my 2 eggs, and I'm going to add in my baking powder, and we're just going to flick that off. And I'm going to drop that temperature down because I think it's going to be about 170, 180 that I'm going to need later. So if I put it on 170 now, I'll be safe. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to mix in my baking powder and eggs till I start to see it foaming. Like I said, this changes the structure of the cheese. It looks like when you see people making cloud bread, which I think tastes disgusting, it kind of goes a bit like that because it's all like foamy. It looks like you've actually whipped the egg whites, but it's the double-acting baking powder reacting when it's wet, and it just breaks up the cheese. So you can see like it's still cheesy, but you can see like there's this foam to it, and that's doubled in size. So I'm going to add in my yeast at this stage as well. And you can see that yeast is just a fluff, right? So no liquid. If it's got liquid, then it hasn't activated. Throw it away, don't stick it in there. You'll end up with a wet batter. As I said, I use inulin as my activator. If you don't have inulin, just use sugar or honey. Do not use a sugar alcohol. They do not activate yeast. So that includes erythritol, xylitol, monk fruit. None of them will activate it. So now I'm going to add in the rest of my ingredients now. So it's safe to do that. I've got my salt, xanthan gum, and my almond meal. And that all goes in there. So as you can see, no tricks, real time. We're mixing it all in. I always say it anytime I'm ever making Fathead Live, anyone that tells me that their mixture is wet, it's not even wet now and it's not even half mixed. So if it's wet, there is a problem there somewhere. As for eggs, I use the largest ones I can get at the supermarket always. And I use free range. So what I do whenever I'm making fathead for anything is I mix it well in the bowl before it ever hits the mat, okay? So I'm just pressing down into the bowl so I can see that all those strings of cheese are not there. So if you can see this, it just looks like a yellow pasty dough. You can't see strings of cheese anymore, okay? So, not sticking to my hands, that is when you'll take it out of the bowl, okay? So, out she comes. That one's going to need a knife around it. I'll just show you these buns so I don't forget. So you can see they're a nice thin bun, not too thick, not too heavy. I find since giving up bread that if I'm going to have a burger or something like that, I don't even like to, honestly, I don't even like our low-carb bread buns for a burger bun. I just like burgers on their own, but I like it with that bun, those buns, not that bun, because they're just light and they're not doughy. So it's really good. Okay, so as we can see, not wet, doesn't splush. So it's all about mixing it in the bowl before it ever hits here and doing it in the exact order that the recipe is on. Okay, so like I said, with this is 1 times my batter, my dough, and from that one lot, so on here I say it serves 12 serves, so that's 12 times 5 by 5 centimetre serves. So that would be like a small bun or a pizza or something like that. But what you can do is with this one lot of fathead dough is make a lot of different recipes. So we might do a couple of breakfast pizza bases. We might do a couple of bagels. And with the rest of it, I might actually do a scroll. I might actually do one of these. I'll do the 2 bagels and we'll do 1 pizza base and we'll do 1 wrap. I guess it really makes no difference. When we roll dough, if you just like hold it like that, put your hand down and roll it underneath, you should get a nice little circle. If it's gripping, you can pinch the bottom, like get your messy bits, pinch the bottom, and then start again. So we've got some nice dough balls here. I do like to work with it while it's warm. So I'm going to do that. I did get out another baking tray. Oh, I've got my baking paper over here. So I'm going to line my baking tray. I need to get some of the liners for my trays for sure. Okay, bagel. You can do it in a sausage, wrap it around your hand. I'll show you one of those. Or you can also just do the easy one. So this is a Cheats bagel. If you made bagels for a living, which you would abhor making a fathead one, you would never do it this method. But you can see that that is super simple. And then onto the tray it goes. For the traditional method that's done with real dough, you would roll it out into a sausage. You can see I spread with my fingers, and what you're aiming for, I guess it depends on the size of your hands, is you're aiming for it to be able to reach the inside so that you can clamp it together and form the circle. So now I've got it. Right, squish it, and then I just roll it, okay? So, sorry, that just hooked onto my ring, which you shouldn't have on in a kitchen either. I'll just take a bit of dough off my ring. And then the beauty of this dough is you can tidy it up, okay? But it is a wider bagel with a bigger hole. But you know what? For a sandwich, that's awesome because you just fill up the centre, like you're putting like sliced meat or whatever on it. Or if it's an egg, it'll have like just a little bit of the hole in the centre, but still be perfect. Okay, so we've got that one on there. Our curd has just finished. I'm going to grab another spatula, which I've got here. You can see it's lovely and thick, beautiful and pale. I'm going to take that out and I'll put it in something glass so you can see how pretty it is. Curd can be served hot or cold. If you are somebody who likes, let's just say for Mother's Day, having things like pancakes or waffles, this would be delicious served on top of a pancake or a waffle. You can see it's really nice and thick. If you're doing this on the stove, all you're doing when you're doing that is you're doing it over a low to moderate heat and you're whisking and keeping an eye on it so that it doesn't burn or become too thick or separate. So I want a glass jar, don't I? How big? Let's see. Close the door. Now I do have how much this makes on the recipe card. I think it's 1.5 cups or maybe 2 cups. I don't think it's 2 cups judging by this glass anyway. But of course that always depends on the size of your eggs and if you're doing it manually, because like in the Thermomix it should be roughly around the same because we always use the same temperatures, so it's under the same cooking conditions. But if it's on the stove and it's slightly hotter or slightly less, you may end up with a thicker or thinner curd, so of course the quantity would always be different. And again, if you haven't heard from me the reasons why I don't do things in weights, that is exactly why. If you cook a 400 gram steak on the stove or on your grill and one wants it well done, one wants it medium, they come out different weights, right? So we don't do any of our recipes via weight for the nutritional. We just do it via whatever it comes out and you divide it by those number of serves because then it should always be the same, whether it's reduced or not. The properties are still there, but weight would affect it. Okay, so we've got a beautiful thick lemon curd. I'm going to allow that to cool. I'm going to move this out of the way. I might just slip that up there. And I'm going to... I don't even think it'll matter. Normally I would clean this out, but I'm going to whip the cream in there later for the fluff, so that'll be fine. Okay, so we were going to do some wraps and a pizza base. So what I do for breakfast pizzas is, do I still have one of those? I do. It's probably cooled down a bit. Yep. I use a small ring. So like I've got the oversized egg rings, which I use a lot. You can use scone cutters, whatever size you want, but you're just going to roll out the dough between 2 sheets of baking paper. Now, if this is for a pizza, you don't want it too thin because then it'll be too thin. And in saying that, I do have a pizza crust recipe on the website, and it does have more almond meal in it than this one, okay? So it actually comes out more stable. But that would be my one pizza base. Now, the beauty of this is like if I was doing the whole lot of this, I can put all of those with a small piece of like a square of baking paper between, put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer. Anytime I want to make a quick pizza, I just pull out the one base, chuck it straight into the oven. I just use one of the ceramic stones, the pizza stones, in an oven at 250. Chuck it in there till you see it just go a little bit lightly golden, which is only a few minutes. Then I top it with my toppings and then take another couple of minutes. 5-minute dinner from the freezer, just like out of a box kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, because I know we don't miss eating out of a box, but we miss the convenience of eating out of a box, if you know what I'm saying. It's like, oh, I want to have a pasta dish. Well, for keto people, if you don't like cognac noodles and you don't eat soy and you want to make our, say, keto pasta, you have to make the pasta first, then you have to make the sauce, put it all together. So it's more labour than going to the cupboard, grabbing a packet of pasta, sticking it on to boil while you make your sauce, right? So, you know, there is different things that we can do to make our life easier. And for me, one of them is definitely making things like this ahead of time and making them just as I need them. And I think that's a great idea. Like, I was almost tempted today to do a double batch of this, because not just for Alive, but for us, so that when I want to actually have, I should have brought in another cutter that I've got, but we might just do pizza bases out of this one. Because I was going to do the wrap, but I haven't got a wrap. What do you call it? Cutter. And I don't have any plates small enough. Another thing that when I was just saying about the pasta is, if you make the pasta, you can also make it into sheets. As you can see, this one's in a wrap. So you could do this as a breakfast tortilla, breakfast taco, use 2 of them, or your scrambled egg, and you can even scramble your egg on top of it. Put your bacon, egg, avocado, put another one on top, put it in your pan. Then you use a plate, turn it over if you're not a quick, and you've got an easy quesadilla. But yeah, this pasta, which is our pasta recipe on the website, is also super versatile in that way as well too. So you can imagine, like, you can just do some easy breakfast enchiladas, burritos, whatever. You could even do your scrambled egg in the microwave and then wrap it in that as well. So, okay, so we've done those ones. I'm going to now just do the leftover. So we've just done a couple of little pizza bases, but the wrap that I've got for my tortilla ones, I've got bigger ones today because I wanted to show you how you can use it another way. But what was I going to say? Doesn't know. But yeah, you can make anything out of like this dough. So I also use those little tops. So I might bake these at a lower temperature, because if I leave these out and let them rise and then bake them, they'll puff. Great little pie topper, or a little bit of pastry to have with soup. So we're going into winter, and you might want to have something to dunk into your soup for breakfast. What could we dunk it into for breakfast? Egg. You could top it like with any kinds of eggs. You could dunk it into a nice hollandaise. Let's see how everyone's going here. Hi. Are you going to make this so I can replay it? Yes, I think I did that. Okay, so we got somebody else that uses the Alpine one. Do the buns taste eggy? Not at all. That's what I said. Like, it's just hemp. It's just weird. They don't taste eggy. They don't taste cheesy. They just taste like a completely different thing than you would ever imagine. You know how I can't think of anything at the moment, but you know, I'm going to get a bigger piece of baking paper, because this is not going to, I don't think this will fit our wrap on it, our scroll on it. Yeah, there's like some foods that you just make, and they're always a wonder when you go to prepare them that they turn out that way. You know, like, we know that there's different ways to prepare the same ingredients and get different things out of them, right? And that's just one of those that bun is just like it. If you've tried my hemp share bread, it's quite similar but not the same, because it's got meal and that in it as well. But yeah, it's really handy recipe to have. I'm going to make a bigger sheet because I'm struggling here. Well, you're always using a silicone mat anyway. When you're using fathead, I always like to use the Glad baking paper, because it tends not to grab. If you've made fathead before and your baking paper always grabs, let's move that outside because I know I need to get that bacon in a second. And it grabs hold of it and wrinkles up the baking paper. It tends not to do that as much with the Glad one, okay? That's why I spend a bit extra. I'd save where I can. Okay, so basically what I'm doing with the rest of this dough is I'm going to roll it out into a rectangle, okay? And when I run my hands over like that, I can actually feel the rise and fall of the pastry. So I'm actually just trying to smooth it over a little bit. And yeah, I call it pastry in one moment, and then I call it a dough in the other, or a bread. It can be all of the above. So just try and get that roughly into a rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to try and just make it as even as possible. Now I'm just going to make this as simple scrolls. So we're just going to move these out of the way and that one over to there. So, as you can see, our little, I think they'll be great. Dippy eggs, and will that one come out? But yeah, so it's taking off the extra bits. So for your burger, you can see like that's the whole bun, but it actually like holds together. Like you can see I'm like really pulling that. So it's not like some flimsy little eggy kind of bun. Okay, scrolls, super easy. Just pop on whatever you want inside it. Don't overfill. I usually like mine spicy, but I didn't actually grab any spices today. I've actually got this pepperoni that I bought at a market yesterday, so I'm going to use a little bit of that. But if you've seen our recipes for the scrolls, you've seen like we do things just as simple as Vegemite and cheese. So for breakfast, you could do like ham and cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that you want. You don't have to use cheese if you don't want to. Spinach. I like to use the fresh spinach leaves when I make it. Ricotta or any of those sort of softer cheeses mixed with spinach or spring onions are nice. Jalapenos are always good. I know we have a few spicy lovers like myself. Okay, I've just got a little bit of bacon over here that I pre-cooked. So another thing for easy meals, for breakfast and that as well too, is always like tray baking or cooking in bulk, some bacon, sausage, all those sort of things. And just adding it with, like I said, you can scramble eggs in the microwave. You just stick them in the mug, a couple of eggs, tablespoon of cream, put it in the microwave. Do it in 30-second lots, depending on the wattage of your microwave. Usually takes roughly around about 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes. If anyone is paying $5 for those Primo scrambled eggs in a container, you're very silly. They might be worth getting it once just to try it. But then you just go, oh, I can do that at home. So you just use eggs because you add the eggs to it and dice in whatever meats, capsicums, mushrooms, whatever that you want. I actually have some olives here, so I might throw some olives in this one. Breakfasty? Yeah, I think so. How to pit an olive. Press down with 2 thumbs, split it open, take out the pit. 1 olive, 1 pit. I quite try and be very careful with the pits so that they don't end up in the food. But yeah, you can use a olive pitter, but I find this the easiest way to do it. And that is 5 olives quickly pitted. Just give those a rough chop. So for me, the secret to the scrolls is cutting them smaller. I see a lot of people go, oh, mine don't stand up and that, and trust me, mine don't either when I cut them really thick. And so I'll show you in a minute. But if you cut them smaller, you can have more. Like if you have a thick one, oh, I can have one. But like if you have littler ones, you can have more. Okay, so we've just got our filling in there. It could be anything that you want. So any of your favourite keto fillings, any meats, you could do sliced ham on there, sliced chicken on there, and layer it with different things. Do like a stromboli. You don't have to scroll it. You can Danish it. You can plait it. You can enclose it. You could calzone it. So all I did is I used the paper first to roll it over, and now I'm just trying to gently roll but tightly roll. And then any that falls out the ends, I just push back in. And then I just try and press it so I can see that at least some of the filling is everywhere. And as you've seen, I did try and scatter it to the ends. The end pieces aren't always the best bit, and then I just slice it up, which is going to be a little fun because I've got this stiff pepperoni in there that I've cut quite thick. But you can see, like, I'm cutting it, say, roughly about 2 centimetres or 2 to 2.5, like 1 inch slices, so that when I then put it on the baking tray, they will just bake easy enough and not flop. Because if you did it, say, this size and try and stand it up, sometimes they'll stay up, most of the time they won't. Okay. So seeing we have finished with this tray, you know I'm the ultimate of recycling my baking paper. I'm going to move that over to you here. Just go there for now. Chuck that into there. And I'm just going to place these on here. So the end bits are the chef's bit. Or they're the bit that, you know, the person who needs the smallest amount does gets. And then all I'm just going to do is I'm going to place all these onto the baking tray. I'm going to bake these ones straight away, but normally I would leave these out for an hour because this is the yeasted fat head, so it'll actually like puff up more. But we might just do these ones straight away, so you can just see how easy they are. Any of those extra bits, I always just pop them on the end bits because they're the ones that always look like a bit of a failure. For those of you who are OCD and exacting and square off the edges and do it all the way to the edge, you will have no endy bits. So we're just going to pop that in the oven now. We'll start at 10 minutes and we'll see how we go. But again, this is something that can be made ahead. So you could make this right now, put it out to rise for an hour if you like. Then you could even pop it into your fridge overnight and then cook them the next day if you like. They're just as good cold as they are hot. So again, it's a great one to make easy for quick breakfast, lunch meals, or, you know, just something to add into a lunchbox for anybody as well. So that's that one. We have got, like I said, we've got our bagels over here. So with our bagels, you can base that with a little bit of egg yolk and add your everything but the bagel seasoning or any seasoning that you like. I do like ranch seasoning and that on those. I was just going to check the temperature I normally do this at. I think it's around 180. Haven't written it on there. But yeah, I normally cook, I think, fathead dough around about 180. Someone's probably looking at it, not me. Okay, so we've shown that. For the best keto buns too, I put this out for a reason too. You could actually do them as donuts and that as well too. And then, like I said, you could cut the donut in half and fill it up with guacamole, scrambled egg, bacon for an easy one, or a grilled sausage with some scrambled eggs. If you're not an egg fan, grilled sausage, onion, tomato, nice grilled cheese. Now let's have a look and see if I've got any more questions. Looking good at this stage. Okay, so that was simple. Before we get on to the tortillas, did I say that I was going to do that one first? Let's have a quick look. No, I'm going to do the fluff after. Okay, so we'll do the tortillas. Who's made my tortillas before? They're amazing. Okay. Now, there is only a few ingredients in them. They are so easy to make. They are dairy-free, and you can also make it egg-free. So where I'm putting in the egg today, you can substitute with it. I haven't got the notes on here, but I think I've written it in there, roughly around about 30 grams of mashed avocado. You could use cream cheese or something like that if you want to, but I like to use avocado. Does it taste like avocado? No. Does it go green? No. It just helps glue it together. The other ingredients that in here are in this recipe are essential to it because it actually adds the stretch and the strength to the wraps. These wraps are incredible. Okay, so we will do this in my hidden thermi over here. But still super easy to do in a bowl. You don't need any fancy equipment. But all we're going to do, I think it's all the ingredients in. So you could chuck this all into a mixer of any description. You could do it all into a bowl, but I'm just going to chuck it all into my thermi and then I'm going to pop it out here. I'm just going to pop that one up to there. So in order of the ingredients first, we have 150 grams of almond meal or almond flour. Chucking that in, just turn that on. 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. If you want to replace the coconut flour, again, you don't taste the coconut, okay? You want to replace it, you can use other flours like chia flour or psyllium husk, but I find it will change the consistency. It definitely changes the consistency. We've got 1.5 teaspoons of xanthan gum. I promise you it won't taste gummy, sticky, weird feel in the mouth. You can reduce it a little bit if you like, but again, it adds that strength to it. It adds almost like gluten-like structures to the bread. We've got some salt flakes. I just use the sea salt flakes. We've got 3 tablespoons of water. That can be warm or cold. Makes no difference. We've got 1 egg. Just trying to put it all in the order. Always, as I said, I always use a large room temperature egg. And we've got 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother. It's not essential, but that's what I use. And the apple cider vinegar also strengthens the wraps as well. So that's why we've also put it into our pasta, because it helps keep the end result very stiff. I was just trying to look for where I put the lid for this one, but anyway, I think I'll have to find. Oh, there's one over there with lemon curd on it. Okay, gotcha. So this one is for this one, and for our thermi users, we just pop them all in there and mix it for 7 seconds, speed 3. I am also tempted to make another kind of wrap, because I just love making different kinds of wraps, with a dehydrated one with some vegetable matter. So if anyone's interested in that, just pop a comment in there so that, you know, we want to put this onto dough setting now, and we're going to knead that for 3 minutes. So if you were doing this in a mixer, you'd just use the dough hook and mix it for 3 minutes. If you're doing it manually, I would do it in the bowl like the fat head and mix it really well in the bowl before I ever turn it out here to knead it as well. So yeah, that's all we've got to do there, and then we've got to roll it out. So I'm going to need some baking paper for that as well. And I want some large sheets. So this recipe makes 9, is it 8-inch? 9 16 centimetre, so that's what, 8-inch roughly, 16 centimetre rounds, and you can just use a cake cutter, you can use a side plate. For thermi users, you can use the inside diameter of your lid, so this bit here will actually cut and you can push it out through the hole. I'm just going to wash this lid while I'm at it, to cut the tortillas. I see a lot of you are using the tortilla press. Since we put out our video of showing you how to use that, you can use the tortilla press for both the fat head wraps and our tortillas. And someone did comment saying that, you know, they still have to use a rolling pin. Personally, I still use a rolling pin anyway, because especially for the tortillas, the thinner, the better. So if you didn't know that already, try it next time. The thinner you make these, the more flexible. It's even like this pasta. Like you can see, I roll that, and you can see in some parts, it's almost see-through, but it's still there. That's exactly what you do with a tortilla as well. You want it to be almost sheer, but still solid enough that you can pick it up and put it onto your pan. Okay, so we've got that kneading for 3 minutes. Then we're going to roll it out, so we might get our cheesecake fluff on while that's happening. This is so easy. Love this recipe. Okay, so I've got lemon curd in there, so if my cream comes out looking weird, that is why. Just going to grab my other whisk attachment in here, and I'm going to pop my whisk attachment in it. So if you're doing this in a bowl, you're just going to pop some cream into a bowl, and you're going to mix it with a handheld mixer or a beater or a whisk if you're old school. Thermomix takes about 30 seconds at speed 3. Now I just cleaned that lid and I put it down. And there it is. Let's hope that the lemon curd doesn't kill this cream. It'll be just my luck. Because I haven't done it in a dirty bowl before, so we'll see. Just put that on speed 3. Take that lid out so I can see it. So for those of you who have got a Thermomix or similar, they're all probably, I know this one does, but all of the other brands have probably got a built-in setting for whipped cream and recommended speed and time. I like to just put it on, and just going to make sure that's on thicker. Oh, good. It's not going to go too far. All right, we've got whipped cream. Fill them in. All right. So I've done the cream. I'm just going to take the cream out. I'll put it in this bowl that just had some almond meal in it. That'll be fine. But yeah, you want stiff peaks. She goes. All right. Now this one we don't need to clean the bowl to do the next step. You just want to get the majority of the cream out because we don't want it turning to a bit of butter. I don't know if it will, but it might in there. Okay, so our tortilla dough is done. You can see what it looks like in the bowl. And when you do this anyway, you let it rest for 5 minutes. So we'll allow that as part of our resting time there. Now what I'm going to do is going to add this back into there. What recipe am I doing? This one that I'm buried here. Take that lid away. Put that into my messy sink there. Move that out of the way. So that's finished with too. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients into the mixer and we're going to mix that for 1 minute. So we've got 250 grams of cream cheese. So I've got my Philly one here. It was the last of the one that I had got from the supermarket at 50% off. So that's good. Let's have a quick look at our scrolls. Still got a ways to go, so I'm going to just pop them on for another 5 minutes and check them. As I said, I always like to do things in small increments so then I can not overdo them. And for me, that's how I test all the recipes. So I actually usually I'm writing down 15 minutes and 5 minutes and the times that I put it on. And then I get my testers to test the recipe as well so that they get the same sort of temperature so I didn't miss one. So we get consistency. Okay, so we've got our cream cheese in there. We've got 50 grams of powdered sweetener. I just use sucre and mealis, which is a powdered erythritol mix. And lemon juice. Good that I didn't use all those lemons. And the lemon juice in this is just to help set the cream cheese, the cheesecake fluff a bit. But you can add more or less to it if you like. You can flavour it with anything that you like. You can also use limes if you've got it. If you don't have fresh and you use those jarred ones, I don't know how they go, as in like the plastic bottle ones that you buy in the pantry range. Not too sure. But that's just a tablespoon of lemon juice. Alrighty. So that's all that goes in there. This is just going to go on for 1 minute. Speed 4, I think I've got it on. Yep. So again, if you're doing this in a bowl, you would have whipped up your cream, move that bowl to the side, put in a new one, put in the rest of the ingredients, whip it till it's thick and smooth, then fold in the cream. That's how easy it is. 1 minute. So this dessert can be done in less than 5 minutes. And if you missed the beginning, what I said is for a breakfast, you could do this with yogurt if you wanted to. So you could use the YoPro yogurts that are high in protein. They're lower in fat, but I don't need all the extra fat. So that would be a good one. Or Greek yogurt. So just I always say a tiki one, but I think it's Farmers Union that I get anyway. So you could do it with cream, yogurt, whipped ricotta, whipped feta, any of those, quark. So if you wanted to add a touch of vanilla into this, that'll give it that New York sort of flavour. Instead of the cream, you could actually halve that and do half cream, half sour cream, so it gets more of a sour taste as well. Or even half yogurt with the cream, which gives you that sort of sour flavour. Okay, and now I'm just going to fold in my cream. So for those of you who can see it, that is like a fully whipped, really nice consistency. It's still thick, easy cream cheese, cheesecake kind of mix. I know some of you like your jelly crystals in cheesecake. You could mix that into here as well too. You could add any fruit, a little bit of melted chocolate when you mix it through then, like when you did the 1 minute, 4 minutes. Just add in some melted chocolate. And that is done. Okay, so For this, you could easily do this with a piping bag and just pipe it into some jars. So I'm just using some little jars today, but if you've got like, these ones have got like a flat top lid that clip on. You could do it in bigger ones, smaller ones, whatever you want. But if you just, let's see if we can do this pretty. Add in the cream, cream cheese, fluff, however much you want. Okay, that's one. This time I might try and get bigger spoonfuls so I don't have to do it so many times. Get out of the way. So this has already got like a bit of that lemon curd flavour through it as well. For those of you who have made our Greek yogurt that's on the website, you could do the thick ones in the Thermomix too, where you steam it. Well, don't steam it, you do it at 40 degrees, and put the lemon curd in it as well too with the yogurt. That'd be beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to spoon a little bit of the lemon curd. So you can see our lemon curd is super thick. So spoon a bit of that into there. So for those of you counting minutes, 2 minutes prep time for the lemon curd, 11 minutes in the Thermomix, or probably 8 to 10 on a stovetop, so less time on a stovetop. And the cheesecake, less than, I would say, 1 minute to grab it out of the fridge. Oh, I can just turn that off, I think. 1 minute to grab it out of the fridge, and 1 minute to mix it. So it's pretty easy to make. So you can see we've done that. Now, like I said, what I'd done is I'd done the almond flour cookies, which are on our website, which are pretty much 3 ingredients into the fruit. You make up the batter or the dough. You then, I'll just use a knife. I'll just clean this knife. It's just got a bit of salami on it. So it's, yeah, basically just 3 ingredients. You mix the dough or the batter, put it into plastic, pull it out into a long sausage. I've got all pictures of that and how to make it. Roll it up, seal it up in your Glad wrap, pop it into the freezer for 20 minutes. Then you cut it into your thick slices so you can actually like see that this was once a roll, and I just sliced it into that sort of thickness, put it onto my baking paper, and then I bake it in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. So again, these are shortbread, and you can actually leave, which I should be able to grab it easily enough. Yep. You can leave your bit of cookies in there and slice whenever you need and bake whenever you need as well too. And again, they can have anything mixed into them. So if you want to make them lemon shortbreads, chocolate shortbreads, whatever, just do it that way. Now, one thing that I said yesterday when I was doing an event is like, this would be great. Instead of doing it into the log, you could actually like do it into a square. You could actually like cut it into fingers, and you could use the fingers to eat with, like we did with the dippy egg. You could do it with these and make like long shortbread fingers or long shortbread wedges. So you could do it into a big round and cut into the wedges and eat your cheesecake with the fingers of shortbread. Or you could just put this into a jar and shake it or roughly chop it. You can see that these are crispy, so they're not soft, so they're not crappy cookies. There is some out there. I don't know why people go, oh, look at this amazing keto cookie, and you see it open, it's like cake. Like, nah. So this gives you the texture. So it's basically a deconstructed cheesecake in a jar. You pop the lids on those. That'll keep in the fridge for a week. They can go into the freezer. So you could put them into little ice cubes. You could put it into an ice cream mold, put a paddle pop stick in it, and have a cheesecake on a stick. So easy. Any time of the year. Let me move that out of the way so you can actually see them. And we still have heaps. So you can see that was pretty simple. It makes like 2 cups of mixture. We've got 1.5 cups of lemon curd. You could do this into a large cheesecake if you want to do it. You can do it in the cheesecake jars. You can do it in the ice cream molds. You could do it in a tart shell. Like so this, we have a almond flour cookie shell, just made the same. And as you can see, like I said, they are biscuits, shortbread, not. See, it still doesn't even do a soft cakey bit. So yeah, they're really nice shortbread. It just tastes like shortbread, like real shortbread. So, but it's better in some ways because you get to still make it yourself and flavour it yourself. Okay, so we've done our fluff, we've done our curd, we've done our cheesecakes in a jar. I'll just move that out of the way so it's not right in front of everything. Megan's made a big mess. We've got our burger buns. So for breakfast, you can pre-make burgers. Again, what I do when I pre-make my burgers is I use these. I'm just going to get a knife and cut this out because I think it kind of stuck in there. This is why I love the silicone ones. You saw how easy they came out. But anyway, that's still great. But these oversized egg rings are my burger presses. So what I do is, whether you want it a full thickness one, which is when I'm doing like a really good thick burger for like a dinner, I will do it flush to that. And I think it's roughly around about 150 grams to 200 grams of meat that you'll get in that. But you can do it also halfway and just press it in, but it gives you the perfect size. When that shrinks down, it will still fit on your burger bun, see? So like you get that little bit of shrinkage with meat, it'll fit the burger buns perfectly as well. So it's a really good way to make everything. Burgers can always be done with any kind of minced meat that you like. I do like a 50-50 pork and beef, and I add my own seasonings in there. So if you liked, say, a McDonald's breakfast burger sausage McMuffin, that sort of flavour, that's sort of similar to what you'll get out of those. If you mix the pork and beef, usually I do a bit of like sage and fennel with mine, and garlic powder and onion powder and salt and pepper. There you go. There's a recipe. But yeah, that's lovely. Or you could do the ranch burgers and stuff like that we do. But you can make those all ahead of time. You can freeze them again. So you could make get a kilo of each, do 2 kilos of the mince, all into one big bowl, mix it up with all your favourite seasonings. Like I said, the mingle seasonings, I always look over there because they're all on top of one of my benches there. They can all work, or any of our pre-made ones, or not pre-made ones, your ones that you can make off our website that you pre-make and have in your pantry ready to go. So our Italian, our Greek, our Mediterranean, whatever flavours, your ranch seasonings, you put that into your mince, make all the burger patties out, stack them with squares of baking paper between, or freeze them all on a tray, then stick them into a Ziploc bag. So then you've got like IQF, individually quick frozen burgers, ready to go. They can be done raw and they can be done cooked. So you could actually cook the beef and then freeze it. You could freeze it on the bun and then defrost it overnight, or pop it into your lunchbox and quickly heat it in the microwave at work if you're one of those people that need to be able to do that. Or, pop it into your esky if you're a sales rep on the road and stuff like that, and heat it, at a hotel and stuff like that if you stay at crappy hotels. You can stay at good hotels, but some of them have crappy restaurants. And I know from experience of being somebody who used to travel around the state a lot that you might get into somewhere very late at night and the food was pretty crap. So, you'd be, okay, I'm just going to eat a so-so steak. But you could actually take the meals with you and easily have them. But that is so simple to make. These little breadsticks, so we said that they could be used for the dippy eggs and stuff like that. You could do this with the fathead dough as well. And just bake it this way and season it. If I was going to do this with fathead, I would definitely season it. I love it with the ranch and I love it with the Italian seasoning. But they can be used for salads. You can cook the fathead further and it will go hard like a crostini. So you can actually do this as little breadsticks and that. There's another idea for you. Okay, so, and then we talked about the keto pasta, which you can also make into wraps, that you could make into breakfast tortillas, breakfast burritos, breakfast quesadillas. You could cut these into wedges, or you can hang them over like your oven rack. You hang them like that to make the taco shells and stuff like that as well too, make them crispy. You could cut them into triangles and make them into crispy wedges and stuff like that to serve with some guacamole and stuff, because guacamole is great for breakfast. I like it with like scrambled egg or something like that. I was going to say some other recipes, but I've moved them off our website now. So I can put some together. Like I said, I will do like a breakfast ebook. I put as many as I can together because I know I've done a lot of stuff over the years and it's not all available. Some of it's not even available anymore because I've taken so many ebooks off the website. I'll just have a quick look in a second if we've got any questions. Oh, we've got our tortillas. Let's do the tortillas. Is there people saying, what about the tortillas? What about the tortillas? Okay, I'm playing with this baking paper and forgetting that tortillas is still there. Okay, so we're a little bit over time, but we've done all of that with me talking in less than an hour. So we've made enough cheesecakes to feed us for a long time. Like I said, they can be frozen. I really like the idea of doing them on the pop, so I think I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to swirl it and put some paddle pop sticks in my ice cream molds and pop them in the freezer. Because that will be delicious. Now, for anyone just watching us for the first time too, if you hadn't noticed, we do have a little sale on this weekend too. That our hard copy books, if you use the code MUMXO, so yeah, that's an X and that's an O, not a 0. It's in Mum Love Cuddle, or is it Cuddle Love? I don't know which one's which. I think the X's are kisses, right? You can save 10%. So that's on any bundles and stuff like that as well too. So that finishes at midnight tonight. Not that I'm doing this for this. So as for more classes, I will definitely do them. I might have a break next week because I do have 4 recipes to do for Atkins, and I've been having some trouble because I just don't do anything like everybody else does, of course. Let's not make a shake out of shake mix, right? So I've been having some fun with some interesting cooking, and I just want to get it down pat and get that done, as well as some recipes that I'm working on for the site. And we will have our boneless pork ribs come up later this week too. So if you're not on our newsletter list, you will see in the announcements or whatever, or go onto the website and you can just sign up to the subscribers list so that you can get the new recipe. So there'll be a new smoker chicken rub, and boneless pork ribs that we do in the air fryer. So no bones. They're amazing. And it's cheap to make. And so easy. Honestly, prep time, if I say cutting the meat even, less than 5 minutes. And in the air fryer, 25. So 30 minutes, but only 5 minutes prep time. I'm going to do big ones with this. So normally, like I said, it would make 9 16-centimetre tortillas out of this mix. You can see I can play with it. It's not sticking to my hands. But it's all in their rest time because we've got, coconut flour in there. We've got the xanthan gum and that as well. We want to give the time for the dough to suck up the water that's in it and make these amazing tortillas. Trust me, I don't care where you bought any from. This is better. Better than any that's in a packet. Better than even your normal flour ones, in my opinion. And considering I probably ate my body weight in tortillas back in the day, more than my body weight. Okay, so you can use a tortilla press. You can use your guns. These ones. See, I've really got it set. And we are going to see, because I haven't even tested this to see if this size bit of dough will work for this sizing. Otherwise, I'll just have to run off and get my other size, I think. So you can see if it sticks to the paper at any parts, I just use my finger to pull it off, okay? Let's see. Are we going to get close to this? Yeah, I think we will. So what I do is, like, you can get these on Amazon. That's where I got mine from. Is I put it over the dough and I try and get the edges right on one part of it, and then any extra bits that I've got, I move them in to where I've got a shortfall. So that I get these beautifully shaped tortillas and that as well too. So we're saying about things that can be made ahead. These can absolutely be made ahead. While I think on the website, I've cut out the notes on, where is it? Do I even have the recipe here somewhere? well, wherever it is anyway. There's notes on there of like what I say you can put it in the fridge for. Trust me, they do last a lot longer. I've had some in my fridge for more than a month and they are still perfect. Okay, so I think now I have a perfect sized tortilla. Okay, beautiful. Now I only think that the problem is the pan that I was going to use, it might be too big. As in the tortilla might be too big for it. Okay, take that off. With the offcuts, I always put that in a separate pile because with the offcuts you can normally get enough. How's sound now? Oh no. Hang on, I'll just see if I pull this out. Or did sound come back? Oh, okay, I'll go and plug this back in again. Sound now. Everyone can hear me. Sorry, how long did it go out for? No sound, 4 minutes, no sound, 5 minutes. Okay, so was it only like 5 minutes that the sound went out? Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Somehow this one got turned off. Okay, do you need me to do another tortilla maybe now, seeing you missed out all of that? So I basically was just saying that these would be so sound went again, right? This one's going out. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pop this on here, and then I'll have to go. If you're not going to get sound, I'll pull out the. Alrighty, can you hear me now? Hopefully you can just hear me a little bit now, but can you hear me? Hello, yes. We're just going to do this, and then I'll just finish because we've got no sound. Because I think this battery's run out, and that is on way too high. I don't know, we'll turn that off. So don't overcook it, but you can see the idea is that you can make these tortillas into very simple little sandwich dishes. So scrambled egg, guacamole, bacon, egg, all those kind of things would be amazing with it. Same sort of thing with this. We might even just do, like I said, this is the keto pasta. So if you've got keto pasta and you make it up, you can use it not only for the wide fettuccine sort of style that we do on the website. You can use it for wraps, you can use it for lasagna pasta. You can cut it to any size that you want. I'm just going to it again. Same sort of toppings, but we'll just see how that one turns out. I turned that heat up completely, so it'll be interesting to see if it even cooks now. But you get the idea. Simple ingredients. I'll just add a little bit of cheese so it sticks on the side. But you can imagine that like with any of your, like even an omelette, a whole omelette on there. Because omelettes can be also tray baked in that as well too. Whisk up your eggs, add your capsicum, mushrooms, onion, bacon, sausage, chicken, avocado, whatever you like. Bake it in the oven until it's done. Chop it up, put it in the fridge, eat it as it is. Pop it into a wrap, or like this is one with a bit of pasta. Toast it, grill it. This would be amazing done in the oven as well. And then if I still had some parmesan, that would be amazing. Let's see what happens if I pop some of this cheese on the top and then turn that over. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just put it on the pan when I turn it over next. And we'll see how that comes out. But how is it today? Did everyone get something out of all of the recipes we've done? We've done toasty dippers with the one recipe. Same recipe we did buns, which can also double as toast. So you could have like your jam or your Vegemite and butter and stuff like that on it, or buns for bacon and egg burgers. We've got our dippy egg dippers. We've got cheesecake fluff with lemon curd and a shortbread crumb. That could also be done with yogurt, lemon curd, and a little bit of keto granola. Let's flip this one over. I want to do this. A little cheese here. Flip that onto it. It kind of sticks on the outside. And we've got our bagels rising here. They could still go back into the oven, which will just get basted. We've done some pizza bases that we're going to freeze. So we've got quick 3 minutes in the oven at 250 degrees to 1 to 2 to get it to gold, and probably 1 to 2 at this size with fillings. Don't overfill them, but for a breakfast pizza, a little bit of our barbecue sauce off the website, which is sugar-free, cheese, egg, a bit of bacon, and then a fried egg on the top. Delicious. And a little bit of ranch seasoning, of course. We've got our little scrolls that we've done. So we did these today with pepperoni, bacon, and Kalamata olives. And what else did we do? I think that's it. And we did our tortillas, of course, which we've got one of them here, which we could do quesadillas. So quesadillas is where you'll fill that with whatever filling you want. So scrambled egg or an omelette, bacon, guacamole, pico de gallo, grated Mexican cheese, then put another one of these on, put that onto the pan, grill it this side, flip her over, grill it that side, cut it into wedges. Delicious. Okay, I got new glasses and they're falling off my face. Let's turn that on. Probably already done anyway. I just turned that heat off completely on that, so it was still great that it toasted it, but let's have a look. And this one is a beautiful, easy pocket pizza, calzone, quesadilla, whatever you want to call it, with our lasagna pasta, which is our keto pasta, made into rounds. So when you roll out your pasta for pasta and you bake it, like as our keto pasta that's on the website, you can slice it, or using the rings that I use for the tortillas or an egg ring, you cut it any which way you want, or you can use a knife. I've got on here the circles on the silicone mat. You could use that as a guide to cut as well. And then we've also got like our little toasty here as well. So that is beautiful and cheesy, saucy, and spicy with pepperoni. So all nice and simple recipes. So learn so much from watching it live. Hopefully not so scary to try some now. So like I said, all of that took an hour and a half, and we had a few blippers along the way. But realistically, all of this could be done in less than an hour. A lot of the recipes are easily under 10 minutes of prep time. The only thing that takes a little bit more time is rolling out tortillas. When I do this, I tend to do double the batches, and I do a lot at one time. And you can again freeze those and put them in a Ziploc bag. I like to stick a piece of baking paper between, or a bit of cling film between, so that you can easily separate them when you need them, and freeze them, and then have them done when you need them. So you can always just pull 2 out. It only takes like probably a couple of minutes for them even just to thaw at room temperature, to make something very, very simple for breakfast. Things that are really simple is, like I said, you could do the scrambled eggs. We talked about that in the mug in the microwave. So you just put your eggs, cream, and whatever fillings you want into a mug, whisk it, chuck it into your microwave, do it in 30-second blasts. It'll probably be done in about 90 seconds. You can then actually flip that out, and you can put it into, like, you put your tortilla, if you fold it and push it into the cup, and then put your scrambled egg in there, you've actually like got your burrito in a mug and that as well too, or you could even just stick that inside the mug and cook the egg inside it. So there's another mug meal. That's nice and easy as well. So hopefully I've helped everyone out. I'll just have a quick look through here before I go. But other than that, for those of you who are just starting in, we did have sound. You can see my microphones over here, but one of them must have run out of puff and needs a charge. So the other one was blocking the sound from coming in. Okay, so I can see lots of yeses for sound. Yes, it was a battery problem, Nicole, unfortunately. So I'll make sure it all gets charged up now. Okay, so definitely going to make the buns and try the tortillas again. They didn't work first time. So Lynn, yes, you can see it's very, very simple. Just follow the recipe. Even if you're making it in a bowl and mixing it, mix it in the bowl like I did with the fat head where you saw me. Like, I love the stiff spatulas because it really gives you the ability to push in a bowl and make sure everything's mixed. And you make sure it's not sticky before you turn it out onto the silicone mat. Nothing should ever, the way I test things is I actually stick my finger into it so it comes away clean. And you can still see that this is still completely not going to stick to my fingers even when I go into the bit that's on the inside. So, awesome. What is a tortilla cutter called online? These are actually called cake cutters. So, I use a cake ring or cake cutter. You can get them in Australia. I know that Essential Ingredient has them. I don't know who else does, but you can get them on Amazon. Just have a look on Amazon if you've got it to see if you can get ones that can get here fast, because some of the other orders that you order on Amazon take a really, really long time. Like I ordered some pastry rings recently and they did take a month or more to come, but you know, there is COVID and stuff like even like your iHerb orders and that take a couple of weeks now to get here. Okay, I think we're done. Okay, so thanks everyone for tuning in today. Thank you for those of you who stuck it through with the no sound. And anyone that's only just chimed in, you can watch the replay. So I will just go and finish off this video. And you can start at the beginning and stop and start at any time. So just use the link and open it in another tab and keep it on pause on your device. And then you can just go back to it when you need to. Any of the recipes that I used today are in the cookbook except for the fluff, which was basically, I used the influence from our key lime cheesecake from Keto Mojo, which is this one here. So we did our key lime cheesecake slice, but we did it deconstructed. So this will give you an idea of how you can do it in a slice and that as well, with just a curd on the top. This is a lime curd, that's why it's green. But yeah, everything is pretty much available on the website. And if you go through the video and just see like scrolls or whatever and just search the keyword scroll, you'll find all of the links. Okay, thanks everyone for joining me. Like I said, we'll come back in 2 weeks' time for another live. And I will work out some great stuff that I think will be helpful. Again, more on the meal planning, quick and easy recipes that are super versatile. And I think the building blocks are a good one with something that's simple like the cheesecake. Not necessarily a dessert, but something that's quick and easy that you can make. That makes a few serves and that as well too. Plus we might do something that's wintry because we're getting a little bit cooler anyway. It's not cold today though. But anyway, thanks again for tuning in. And I will talk to you all soon. If you've got any questions, write them in the thread and I will get back to you soon. Okay, thanks again.